So maybe you feel like you don't have a creative bone in your body, or perhaps that you have lost your creativity. But how can we actually foster more creativity? Well, today we're going to talk about just that, but we're actually going to have the assistance of a very popular figure, and that is Leonardo da Vinci. Yes, one of the geniuses of our times. He is a remarkable person, and we're going to actually use his genius to help us actually foster more creativity. What's going on, guys? It's Marcus here with Discover Ignite, and today we're actually talking about the man himself, Leonardo da Vinci, and we're actually gonna tap into his genius and figure out how he was able to cultivate such creativity, because creativity is something we can all use more of in our lives, right? If we have a business, it is very wise of us to actually be able to come up with new ideas, new strategies, and the best way to do that is to be more creative. And so that's what we're talking about today, is fostering different ideas that can help us be more creative. So what you may or may not know about Leonardo da Vinci is that he never officially went to school. He was taught to read and write at home along with mathematics. But at a young age, he loved being out in nature. He loved actually journaling about the flow of water. He had this obsession with water. He also had an obsession with birds of prey, which he used to also document in his journal. But it wasn't until his teen years where he actually started painting, and his apprentice took him under his wing and allowed him to actually paint an angel in one of his recent paintings. And then when he noticed that angel that he had painted, he actually saw the potential that Leonardo was, and that day forward he vowed that he would never paint again, because he saw the potential that Leonardo had. And this kind of creativity is something we want to tap into to allow ourselves to be more creative and come up with new innovative ideas and foster creativity in our own minds. And that's what we're doing. We want to look at Leonardo and see how he was able to foster such creativity and apply that to your life. So one of the first lessons we can actually take from Leonardo da Vinci is that you want to be curious. Now, if we look at Leonardo da Vinci's life, he was extremely curious. Not only was he a painter, but he was a mathematician, he was an engineer, he was an architect, he loved anatomy, he loved many different things, and his curiosity led him to many different discoveries. And this is the way you want to be, is to be extremely curious in your life. Now, at one point in your life, you were extremely curious, and some of us may have to look very far back, but there was a time in your life that you were curious. When you were before even school age, were you so curious that you would ask why for every little thing that you saw? And that is something that you need to take that why and ask why things work the way they work, right? And if you want to see something, if something piques your interest, find out why it's piquing your interest, right? Dive deep into it, look deep into it, see how it works. Whatever you got to do, you want to actually dive as deep as you can and allow that curiosity to just keep going. It's like, pulling that thread, right? You find that little piece of thread and you grab it and you just keep pulling and keep digging and keep being more curious. And the more you find that, you start getting exposed to all these different elements of life that you never thought possible. And this is where your creativity will start coming in, because it opens you up to new avenues and opens your mind up to new discoveries. And this just opens up your creativity as a whole, because you have new perspective. And it's always great to have new perspective, to get that creativity, to get those new ideas flowing, to get, all that creativity that you've been looking for, by just being curious, by asking the simple questions as to why certain things work, right? So we want to cultivate that young mind, that why. We want to understand why things are working the way they do. If you've always had an interest in a particular subject, go deep into that subject. And then if you find that, you might read something and you find something else that sparks your interest, go search it out, right? Go seek it out and find whatever you can find and keep doing this. Yes, it may take some time, but we have to remember that seeing all these different perspectives can actually bring a lot of different creative ideas into our life with us having to even think about it, because we get tons of new perspective from the tons of different things that we are seeking out. So remember this and keep being curious. So if you like this video, remember to subscribe, because on the next video, we'll get into another technique that we can actually use from Leonardo da Vinci that we can apply to our lives, to our business, and cultivate those ideas. So until next time, I will see you guys later.